Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic.
Hey, you know, with all the politics that's been going on around us and all the ads, it made me think, do you remember when we were talking about the consistency party?
Vaguely.
Only vaguely? You were very passionate about it.
Well, I remember talking about it, I suppose, like not vaguely, but I don't remember what we said. That's part the vague.
Well, we were talking about how you can have whatever viewpoint you want to have, but just be consistent about it.
Right.
And like
something the world doesn't do very well.
The world sucks at it. And that's like an example would be like some place like Reddit or even Twitter. They're kind of the same scummy place, you know?
Right.
You go there, and if somebody on the right leaning side of politics, you disagree with them, they assume you're a leftist, commie socialist, in their words. Okay? But if you do the same thing to someone on the left, they call you a maggot and a Trumpanzee and all this stupid crap. Right. And you can't win because people are not consistent. You know, they're talking about election deniers and whatnot, and I mean, they've got them on both sides. But when it's on your side, you don't care. You look the other way. When it's on their side, you make a big deal about it. And that's not consistent. It's either a big deal or it's not a big deal, right?
Right.
I mean, it's kind of one of those cut and dry situations. But hey, whatever.
I mean, the consistency of party doesn't even just apply to politics. It's just what people should do in their life.
Well, yeah, and like, I mean, this weekend, I got involved in the diatribe surrounding this Elon Musk situation.
So you made a giant mistake.
I did, because, you know, I have the more measured opinion of things. The guy's owned the company for a week. I'm not going to judge the, quote, moves that he's made. You may think they're sheerly stupid. I thought a lot of things Twitter did was stupid, but they were fairly popular. They weren't making money, though. That's the biggest problem. Right. They weren't making money. And you know, you get jumped on by these people, and they immediately start attacking you. But then what's funny is, then they tell you that you're one of those right-wing wackos who likes to hurl personal insults at other people.
Which is what they're doing.
And then they're hurling personal insults at you by telling you that you're that person in their mind.
I love people.
I don't really love people. That's the problem. And then, like, you know... What's even funnier is like they're like, you know, they don't agree with anything I say, so therefore I must be an idiot because they don't agree with what I say.
Right.
And I said, "Oh, so you've been perfect in your life, huh?" And they're like, "Well, no, I wasn't perfect." Well, what happened when you were wrong? Well, someone said one thing, I said something else, and it turned out that someone was right. So then, how do you know that's not what's happening right now?
Right.
Then they said, because I know I'm right. And it was about Joe Biden saying he was going to shut down the coal mines. So I played the two tapes that I had, linked to the two tapes that I had of him saying it on two separate occasions.
Right.
He can't deny it. So he bails on the conversation. You know? That's what they do. They run and they hide. Because consistent people, even if you're wrong 60% of the time. You're still right 40% of the time. And that 40% of the time is going to be consistent 40%. So you're going to hit 50, 60 some of the time. Yep. Because you're consistent. Duh.
I've been perusing the internet lately in my non-working time.
Lately?
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, we had the consistency party discussion, like 6 months ago?
Yeah. Probably a little longer than that, but yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere between, I would say between February and now. So.
And people are the same. People were inconsistent then. I think even now, after the Supreme Court decision about Roe versus Wade, that people have gotten even more inconsistent than they were previously.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I didn't think it was possible for people to be more inconsistent, but it is.
Well, and it's weird because the phenomena I experienced this weekend was the one person telling me how terrible it is that some people who violated Twitter's rules got kicked off of Twitter, when in that very person's timeline it said something about some conservative got kicked off and they said, well, your actions have consequences.
Right.
And so I brought up the fact that, your actions have consequences, knowing full well that person would get triggered by it. And they did get triggered by it, and they came at me about it, oh, well, that's different. We're not, storming the Capitol. That's their go-to. They're storming the Capitol.
Storming the Capitol.
Yeah.
What a bunch
Shut
of
up.
idiots.
I mean, it's too funny. But they just can't hold a steady conversation about something because they have to take the party line. So it's always this way is bad, this way is good. Everything else gets ignored.
Right.
And if you're on the bad side, they're going to badmouth you. And if you're on the good side, they're going to support you blindly no matter what. And that's what's wrong with society in general, is people being nuts and blindly supporting people that they don't really know. The inconsistency is just so disgusting. Then they double down when you go, well, I never said that. Well, sorry that you have short-term memory loss. No, I remember quite well because I just have to go back and read it. I don't have to actually remember it. I have proof of what I said.
Even bigger than the inconsistencies surrounding this Twitter thing, even bigger than that, are just the inconsistencies surrounding this whole past election. The Republicans spend all of their time talking about inflation.
Yeah.
And reducing inflation and whatever. And I can't actually say anything about that being inconsistent. But the Democrats always talk about how they're the party that takes care of people who are in need. They're taking care of people who are being stomped on's individual rights, all of that kind of stuff. And all of that's well and good. But why are we talking about abortion instead of the needs of the 330 million people experiencing this crazy bullshit inflation?
Right, because here's the thing. Before people jump to the conclusion, don't jump to the conclusion. Because, see, you can think that abortion is something that's definitely an issue that needs to be tackled without thinking it's the number one issue that needs to be tackled.
The part that's inconsistent is they have a major issue plaguing a crap ton of people, a metric crap ton of people. Okay? And they're not talking about it at all. Matter of fact, they're denying that it exists.
Yes.
So you tout yourself as being the party that takes care of people, and the Republicans are just selfish bitches who don't do anything for anybody ever. Yet which group is actually at least talking about doing something for the people? I mean, whether or not I believe that they will actually do anything useful is another story.
Well, okay, but how about I put it to you this way? If we know that all the parties involved are playing a game of charades with us, and they're pretending to do this, that, and the other thing, and they're leaving it so vague that later they can say, well, that's what you thought I was saying.
Right.
What I was actually saying was, that kind of thing.
Joe Biden's not vague. What are you talking about?
Since we know they all do this, right? Right. They play this game. you don't believe any of them.
I really don't.
Because you can't. Because they're all playing a role and they're playing a part in this movie that they want to create.
In my defense, I never said I believed a single one of them. I just said that at least the Republicans aren't being inconsistent with their messaging. They're all idiots, and they're all going to get in there, and they're all going to do the same bullshit, just in a slightly different direction. I understand this.
No, what I was going to say to that point is that you're right, that everyone is still going to continue to do what they're going to do, but somebody still has to stand up and call out the BS, and it's finally starting to happen.
Who? Who is standing up and calling out the BS without spewing their own pile at the same time?
There was a CNN guy that actually fact-checked Biden's comments on economic recovery and whatnot.
CNN is trying so hard to go back to being moderate.
Yeah, because it got murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If they're smart, they'll get there. Because more people would want to watch and listen to that kind of news from that angle, from the middle, than wants to listen to somebody far on the left and far on the right. I try to listen to both.
Right.
And quite honestly, they both repulse me.
Give you a massive
but
headache.
The left repulses me more. They're just, they use the race card all the time. And I mean, people, when I say the left, you know what I'm talking about. So let's not,
We're talking about the hard left.
Yeah.
The deep,
The
psychopathic,
left.
extreme.
Anyway, that's the problem, is that they, whatever you do, they shout you down. They try to yell louder than you so that you can't be heard.
Right. Because if they yell louder than you, then they're automatically right, according to fake Mike Pence. Hands up, people listening, if you remember who fake Mike Pence is.
Yeah, you got to go back quite a ways in the history of this show to find that
Pre-pandemic,
episode.
back a while.
Yeah, like 2018.
Yeah. So, if you've been sticking around for all that time and you can remember who fake Mike Pence is, Mike's going to give you the email address here in a hot second, but email us and let us know, and maybe we'll send you a cool prize.
info@yogispodcastnetwork.com. Now, I wanted to kind of close this down here and get us off this, infuriating topic and talk about another somewhat infuriating topic.
Oh, Jesus.
The CEO, the Yog of Dogs, the doggist as I call him, currently is wearing a cone of shame.
And he just peed in the middle of our podcast studio, and neither one of us is allowed to be mad because...
Yeah, he had to have emergency surgery to remove bladder stones.
That were stuck in his
urethra. They were stuck in his urethra. He could not go to pee-pee.
Yeah.
And, he's home now. He seems chipper. And
he's got quite a set of stitches in his belly.
He's very groggy because of the medication that they're giving him. And he has a painkiller and an antibiotic, both that he's taking.
Yeah. So send your good vibes towards Yog the dog, because he needs them.
Yeah, send your good wishes to the same place, info@yogispodcastnetwork.com. And that's all I got for you people. That was it for me. What, you got anything else over there, lady?
I don't have anything else without reverting us back to the infuriating topic number 1, so I'm good.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's go snuggle with our Yog dog. Good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.